Last year, we made over $2,000 on our credit cards. Yeah, you heard that right. We make money from our credit cards. We know that credit cards can be a huge detriment in some financial independence journeys, being a huge debt that weighs somebody down. But when used correctly, credit cards can actually be used to build wealth and actually build additional income. So in this video, we're going to be giving you guys the basics of how to use credit cards for your benefit so you can make money from them as well. Stay tuned.
Hi guys, I'm Tahseen.
And I'm John.
Welcome to our channel Millennial F.I.R.E, where we give practical tips on reaching financial independence and early retirement. So before we talk about how to make money from credit cards, there are a few things that you should consider before making this move. There are 3 self-evaluation questions that you should ask yourself. Do you have a history of paying your bills on time? This is one of the most vital things about using credit cards to make money for you. And not only paying them on time, but paying them in full.
And not only your credit card bills, but all of your bills.
All of your bills, correct. And so paying your bills on time, and if you have a credit card, paying at least the statement balance every month. This is something that is vital to being able to use credit cards in your benefit. The second question that you want to ask yourself is, do you live within your means? And this is something that can really be a detriment to you if you are the type of person that lives above your means and you have a credit card. It can put you into debt that can take you forever to get out of. A good indicator of, or an indication that you are the type of person that you live outside of your means, is if your account is overdrafted a lot of the times. Even if it's a few times a year, that's still an indication that you are living above your means. And you want to make sure that you get this under control and learn to live below your means before you start taking out a credit card, because having access to money that's not yours and using money that's not yours is going to get you even further in debt. It's not going to just be the $30 overdraft fees here and there. It's going to be like percentages that you're paying of 20% on debt that you have every month. And so that's definitely going to dig you in a hole and set you back on your financial independence goal. It's definitely very important that you don't spend money that you don't have on your credit cards. And this is all encompassed in living within your means. And the last thing that you want to ask yourself is, do you suffer from lifestyle inflation? Lifestyle inflation is when your expenses increase as your income increases. And so when you're comfortably living on $30,000 a year and then you get a $30,000 raise and now you're living off of $60,000 a year, it's not something that's necessary for you to have a comfortable life. It's just you feel that now that you make more money, you're allowed to spend more money. And this is something that is a key component to financial independence, to F.I.R.E, is to keep your expenses at a minimum in order to invest and to save everything else to be able to reach financial independence and retire early. And so again, I want to emphasize that you should not to be spending anything on your credit card that you don't have in your account.
And with these 3 points being said, I know that it's very popular there's a lot of opinions in the financial field when it comes to credit cards. Some people love them, some people hate them. On the hate side, the most popular person for hating credit cards is Dave Ramsey. I'm sure that most of us have heard of him. He says never to use a credit card, cut them up, throw them away. And when it comes to these 3 points, if you suffer with any of these 3 questions that Tahseen brought up, I agree with Dave Ramsey. You're not ready to use credit cards because they're going to hurt you a lot more than they're going to help you on your financial independence journey. So if you're able to go through these 3 points and say, yes, I consistently pay my bills, I don't have to pay my bills late, I'm always on top of my bills. If you can go through and say, I don't have lifestyle inflation, I don't live above my means, I live within my means, and actually at the end of the month I have money left to invest, then you're ready to start utilizing credit cards. So step number 1 in how to make money on credit cards is not losing money on credit cards. So there are 3 ways to lose money when it comes to credit cards that most of us, I'm sure, we're aware of. So, number one is having to pay interest on anything that you owe. Interest is accrued once you have a charge on your credit card and you go past a month, and then that interest is charged per the APR for the credit card. And so we want to avoid this at all costs by making sure that, like Tahseen said, we always, at minimum, pay the statement balance. And that way we never have to pay interest on the money that we use. The next way to lose money with credit cards is to have to pay late fees. Once again, as long as we pay the statement balance on time or pay off the card completely, we never have to worry about this. And so we're just going to assume that we have these first two things covered. We never have to worry about losing money that way. The third one is one that can definitely get you if you're not aware of it. And that's having a card with the annual fee. And card with the annual fee is basically a card that you are charged to hold on a yearly basis. So there are some cards that in order to have them, you'll have to pay $100 or pay $50 once a year just to hold that card, even if you never use it. So personally, we try to avoid these cards altogether. Out of the over 19 cards that we have, we only have one card with the annual fee. And right now we're kind of in the testing out phase of that. But in most cases, you can find great cards out there to make money off of without having to pay any annual fee at all.
So now that we've gotten that out the way, we understand how not to lose money from credit cards. Now we're going to talk about the 3 different ways that you can make money from credit cards. So the first way we're going to talk about is spending rewards. And spending rewards can come in 3 different forms. They can either come in the form of miles, points, or cashback rewards. And in this method of making money from credit cards, you get a certain amount or a certain percentage back from each dollar that you spend. And so if it's a percentage back, then you'll get it as a cashback reward. And if it's points, they'll tell you how many points you'll get per dollar. So they'll say 3 times the points or 2 times the points, and it will be the same in the similar fashion for miles. Just make sure if you're doing miles or points that you understand the value of your points. Cashback rewards by far is the easiest way to earn spending rewards because it's a dollar amount. You know exactly the value of what you're getting back when they tell you your percentage. But with points and miles, when you redeem it, depending on how you redeem it, it can affect the value of how much your points and your miles are worth.
And so to give you a quick example, points, you can often redeem those for cash as well. But when you redeem them for cash, they may have a lot lower of a value than you would get, for example, for redeeming for an airline flight. And so be very, very careful about how you redeem those points. And to go into those details is a bit beyond the scope of our video, but there are 2 YouTube channels that are really, really great with going into the details of how all of these points work. And they're linked in the description below. One channel is called AskSebby, and the other channel is called the Credit Shifu, and they'll answer any questions that you need on points. And if you have any questions you want to ask us, please feel free to ask us as well, and we'll try to help as much as possible. The second way of making money off your credit cards is getting sign-on bonuses. So a sign-on bonus is the bonus that you get for signing on to a new credit card, and often they come with the stipulation of saying that you would have to spend a certain amount of money within a certain amount of time. So for an example, I may sign up for a new card and they say, hey John, if you spend $1,000 within 3 months on this card, we'll give you $200. And that's $200 of cash that they give me to do with however I want to spend it. And so this is a really awesome way of building the money that you can make from credit cards as well. But with this method, you must be really careful to know that you shouldn't do this and spend money that you didn't intend to spend. So let's say, for example, there was a card that was offering $500 to spend $5,000 within 3 months. With the way we use our credit cards, we may not spend $5,000 in a typical 3 months. We don't want to just go out and spend that money solely for getting that additional $500 because then we're not using the credit card system to our benefit. But we'll wait until we have a major purchase. The best example that I can give of this is that we recently had a duplex renovation for one of our units, and there was a card that we opened that said that if we spent $5,000 in 3 months, we would get $600 back in cash rewards. And so we did the renovation and put the renovation on that card because this was money we were going to spend anyway. If we spent it with cash, we still would have spent that $5,000, but there would have been no one giving us $600. So instead, we put it on the credit card. We paid the $5,000 paid off the credit card and got $600. And now we made money from the credit card. And so this is a great way of utilizing making money from credit cards.
The third way that you can make money from credit cards is by a referral bonus. And so Discover Card and Chase are two of the ones that we know for sure do the referral bonus of $50. And typically they have a limit, and with Discover Card your limit is up to $500 a year. So that means you can refer 10 friends every year, make $500, and then the next year do it again. This is the way that you can actually make money without having to spend a dime, which is pretty amazing. So that's it, guys. That's how you make money from credit cards. We hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, and we hope that will help you guys use credit cards to your benefit. And if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. In our next video, we're going to talk about the specific credit cards that we use to make money. And so stay tuned for that, and we will see you guys next time.
See you guys.